Good evening. Welcome to Rev Talk with Reverend Beverly and
Reverend Kim. Hi,
Hi.
buddy. Oh, all right. So I guess the bell has rung for the holiday season. Just like, oh no.
Boy, they barely waited,
I know. Triggers everywhere. Oh, and I just got some little lights. It's so funny. You see these things online and it's like, oh, that looks really cool. And when you get it, it's like this tiny little roll of wire with little lights on. Now, of course, you can pull it all apart. And I had this idea in my head of what I was going to do with all the nutcrackers and on the table, and put the little lights all around their feet and everything.
Mhm.
And you can program it. It has a remote, which I thought was funny because it's battery operated. I did like you said,
Very good.
and but man, some of the way those lights are like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, we're just gonna leave them on steady. So I haven't set anything up yet. I just, but it was funny to see this little came in this box, and it's in this little box, and then it's like these tiny little, you have to like unravel it and everything, and so I'm like, okay, here we go.
That reminds me, when you don't sleep, you have a tendency to go online and shop. So I bought this most beautiful pumpkin wreath with pumpkins and flowers. And okay, I'll get this. And then I got a National Geographic healing stone set for an Advent calendar. They came. The wreath was probably, like you said, this big,
Oh no.
and one solid piece of plastic, and the flowers were molded in the plastic. So it was like, pour the mold, here you go, spray it. So I was upset because Etsy is normally handmade, and it said USA because it was from Indiana. So it took me 2 months to get my refund, and they offered me $5. Then they offered me $10 because it costs more to ship it back to China. So I kept saying, no, no. And I went to Etsy and they refunded the full thing today. Same thing happened with National Geographic. Well, National Geographic is the United States National Geographic. It came from China. It was pushed in the mailbox, broke the stones, broke the Advent calendar, so you couldn't even open them. And I asked for a refund, and they said, sorry, we don't do refunds after 30 days. So again, I went to PayPal, and I had pictures and everything, and I got a refund. But my point is, everybody's shopping now. Beware of where you're shopping, and don't assume that because it's Etsy, it's handmade in the United States, even if you filtered it. And PayPal now, all the vendors from China have it through a site in the United States, but you can't return anything there. So be very wary when you shop online now.
That's a good.
It's like they're out to get us because it's Christmas. Just like you said, you were expecting all this, and look what you got.
I kind of knew what it was going to be, but it was just so funny how they had it packaged, and I thought, okay, well, it didn't cost me a lot, and they work, and my brother was like on me about, you should, which that word,
Should.
It's like, stop shoulding on me.
But
decorate, decorate this and do this, and I thought, so I did my version of decorating. So
do you have it finished?
No, not yet. No, I'm going to do that, I think, this weekend. I thought I had some white felt that I was going to put on the coffee table, and now I can't find it. So I might have to go out to like Hobby Lobby or something.
I used a white sheet, a flannel white sheet.
Oh, I don't have any white sheets, but that's a good idea. I like that idea. I do. I have to think about it. So anyway, dearest, what do you think? What would you like to discuss today?
Why don't we draw a card and see where it leads us? Because I had a beautiful card this morning
Okay.
And it was the roomy deck, and I've drawn it 2 days in a row.
Oh, I love the roomy deck. That is
Yeah.
a beautiful deck. So, all right, what card would you like? Are you gonna pull from what deck? You gonna do the roomy?
You have to give me just a second because I
Sure.
just had an interruption with my mother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
What do you need?
Okay, we're back. All right. So what deck are you using now?
I'm using the roomy deck. And the card I drew was called Enter the Garden
Oh,
of Delights. And I've drawn this twice. And I have those 10 pine trees to plant. And then they were saying that whatever goes in the soil will die, refurbish, and come again. So it's renewed. And it's perfect timing. And I haven't gotten to my trees yet, but drawing it twice. And what it said, oh, I can't see. To tussle with the parts that we would deny, the aliveness is risky when potential for heartache is due. Yet, what would be more heartwarming than the slow death of a precious human soul, satisfied by fear and inertia? So Rumi is your midwife. He is standing at the threshold with you now. Will you say a deep yes to what is in your life?
that's beautiful.
It just like, it's telling you, wake up and die and be reborn.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Well,
Look at what is around you and be reborn.
the perfect time of year. And I did just read something about, it was one of those where I sighed like, oh, it was another wave of energy is going to be coming along, and I was like, oh, seriously? And it follows in line with that whole thing about the old version of you, old things that you don't need within your life, dying, letting them go, and allowing them to nourish the new you.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's beautiful.
And I drew it twice.
Yeah, that's important. And that's a really important message. And it's appropriate for this time of year too. I mean, any time of year, actually. I mean, any kind of, any of the seasons. I love that though. I love the Rumi deck though. It's beautiful. It is. Illustrations are beautiful, and what's written is beautiful. And
I like the simplicity of it. When you read cards for others, it's very involved and intricate, and everything leads to something else in a story. But this is just, it's right there in a short version. Listen to it.
nice, nice. All right, so I'm gonna pull from the Celtic Tree Oracle. This beautiful deck. So where are we here? Not this one. You sure? Okay. And it's new. All right, what do we got here? Oh, the yew tree. Talk about death and rebirth. And
Oh, how beautiful.
it is, it's just,
Wow.
it's gorgeous. So let me see what it says. All right. So they give you all kinds of information for this, but here's one of the totems is the Grim Reaper.
Really?
Yeah. The yew tree, wait, I gotta get my little magnifying glass because it has the crone aspect of the, and the vulture is also a totem for it. So the crone aspect of the goddess, Pluto, Anubis, ancestors. So again, the ewe lives for a very long time. You will often find them in the cemeteries of Great Britain. They maintain the silence for the souls that have crossed the veil. With them, we move toward winter and the winter solstice as the ewe marks endings and rebirth. This tree also stands for silence, contemplation, and meditation. The ewe links us to the ideas of rebirth and reincarnation. This tree brings us to the threshold that leads into the dead of winter and the long darkness before the light. There is the promise of regeneration here, but we have to get through the winter first. And then the message, I am the you. I connect you to the aspirations of your lineages and your ancestors. I connect you to your homelands. I hold ancient spiritual teachings and knowledge. I am full of the hope of your people. I connect you to loved ones who have passed over. I am here to remind you that space and time are inventions, not the true foundation of reality. Be patient. I offer you courage and inner knowing. Do not be afraid of change or death. They are portals. They are just portals into new beginnings. Breathe deeply. Listen to the inner silence in which you can hear what has gone before and that which endures for all time. You are part of an important legacy. You are a steward of Mother Earth with work to do. Protect her as she is a paradise, and be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with love and respect. You are a holy being of great potential. Grief will deepen you. Allow us to fill you with hope and trust and belief that the light will return and you will burn even brighter than you could have imagined. You are loved.
Wow. It's all synchronized between letting go and rebirth.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, you know, in the, I don't want to say the olden times. Somebody had said that once and made me laugh. But in ancient times, it was not clearly understood why the days got shorter and why the sun, was leaving so quickly and there was so much darkness. So, gathering around fires and telling stories and, communing with the ancestors was something commonplace to do, in the winter months.
Okay.
So I love that, though, that it was very synchronous with yours. Both dealing with kind of the winter. And
We're all the winter solstice.
yes, pretty soon.
Couple weeks.
Let me see on my calendar. Yeah, the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to believe where this year went.
And just look at what we've accomplished independently as ourselves, but then as a group as a whole, and our nation and the world. There is progress throughout it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's another one of those things where if you look for the good, you will find it.
That's
On the
so
flip
true.
side is if you look for the bad, you're going to find it. And, it's your choice to decide where your gaze is going to be and what you're going to focus on.
That is so true.
I of course, for me, this time of year, no, shouldn't say that, but me as the anchor sitting at the bottom of the spiritual ocean, that's kind of my thing to do anyway. But there's a different feel to it in the wintertime. There's a sacredness.
I feel very calm. Once the first snow hits, it's like, it's time. Now we can just be. We don't have to learn. We don't have to process. We can just be and absorb everything we've done for the year because come spring, we're going to begin it all over again.
Right. Well, and
So
again, it's just, this has been not just this year, and we're kind of into this where the energy has been really ramping up. And I know for a lot of people, pretty much everyone, I'm sure this year has been filled with challenges that kind of question where we're going, you know, and
or what we believe to be true, and everything's changing.
yes. And change is not to be feared. It is not. It's change is good. I think the fear with change is that we don't know what's beyond.
You know?
Yes. You know,
I remember a quote that I heard on a program, and it was, I don't like change. And yet the guy goes, you're getting on the train. You don't know where you're going. But when you get there, it's all new and it's changed. So just think of change as a train ride.
oh, that's cool.
And I thought, that's a good way to look. Instead of being fearful and fearing it, when you took a train, you were all excited. Where am I going? What's next? What am I going to see? That's what you have to think of change as, a train.
I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you for that. That's yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's just a different way to look at change.
Yes.
It's
Well,
really-
it's relatable so that the fear is kind of removed.
Exactly.
I love that.
And you've turned it into love. That's the whole purpose. Take your fears and turn them into love.
Well, and that's what we truly are beings of love, pure love. That's what we really are. You know, it's the whole process is to remember that, you know, and then
The whole process is to remember we are one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That is so true.
I mean, I love that. I do. Oh wow. Just kind of sink into that. It does kind of take the sting out of change, you know, that
It makes you think of it differently.
yeah.
Change is an obstacle that you have to overcome, but it's not. It's
Right.
something you ride out and you see where it takes you.
I like that. Yes.
I think
like
it's
that a
really a
lot.
good idea, especially now because everything's changing. Like you said, everything's changing.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, for me, obviously there was loss this year, big loss, you know, and it's been one of those things where even though I know they're in a better place and I can talk to them anytime, you know, that has never deterred me. Their physical presence is missed. You know, this Thanksgiving, I think the angels made it easier, and not to say they made my sister sick, because that's not how that works, but it because she had stressed herself out, you know, and she usually does, but again, I think, you know, there's so much more stress out there that, you know, she got sick and so had to, you know, tell everybody, and we're not a big family, so just, you know, Thanksgiving is canceled, so to speak. And I was not upset by it. I was kind of glad, because it was the first Thanksgiving that Dad was not going to be there, you know, and that was kind of in the back of my mind, and it was present and it was there, and I was like, how is this going to work out? And the angels kind of took that off my shoulders and said, now you can just, you know, relax and it's all good.
It always is all good. But the thing I get it out is, here we were fearing the dinner and what was going to happen at the dinner. And it was turned into love because you got to love yourself and just be.
Yeah,
So
I
they did that for you.
They did, and I thanked them. And again, I was grateful, and I thanked them throughout the day. as I was doing some of the things that I just had put aside, hadn't dealt with, and you know, so I got to do them, and it was a good day. It really was. So it worked out, which it always does.
You
But
didn't fight it. You rolled with it.
I did for a change. Because
That's the key.
I'm good. Like, no, I don't want to do this. So yeah, it actually worked out well.
I am so glad.
Yeah, I am too. So, all right, dear, I think we're going to close this for today. Wishing everybody a wonderful December 2nd. Can't believe that. And
It's playing.
we will see you next time. And remember, you are a unique and beautiful being of the universe. Without you, the universal song would be incomplete. With that,
So adios. We
Yeah.
will see you next week.
yepper. Bye.
All right. Bye.